From the far reaches of the Milky Way galaxy, it's Retro Nerd Girl with a quick, spoiler-free film review for you. Today, I'll be reviewing the movie His Girl Friday, released in 1940, starring Cary Grant, Rosalind Russell, and Ralph Bellamy. Directed by Howard Hawks. The synopsis is: Hildy Johnson goes to the newspaper to tell her ex-husband, Walter, that she's getting married and is about to leave town until she gets set on an elaborate scheme to save an innocent man from execution. When we think of gender switch movies, we think of modern day movies, but they were doing this even as far back as 1940. This film was adapted from a play, which opened at the Times Square Theater on August 14, 1929, and ran for 276 performances. It was a hit. It was made into a film in 1931, and then Howard Hawks got the idea to switch genders in the film for 1940. He got the idea when a woman read the part of one of the male characters in the screenplay. In the film, Hildy is an ace reporter for the Morning Post run by her ex-husband, but she's grown tired of the newspaper business and desires a more conventional life for a woman of the 1940s. In many ways, Hildy is a modern woman, and this really helps her character transcend time. She is devastatingly talented as a writer and feisty with her extremely clever sense of timing, so it's really easy to enjoy her character. I've been a big fan of Rosalind Russell, who plays Hildy, in pretty much the way she plays all of her characters. But even though there is nothing different about the performance, this one is quite perfect for the story. It's one of her best performances, and I absolutely adore the strength she brings to Hildy. Her ex-husband is Walter Burns, played wonderfully by Cary Grant, who runs the newspaper, The Morning Post, which dominates his mind and everything he does. He loves his work, but to a fault of doing many dishonest acts to get his way. He's so full of himself and getting what he wants that at some point in the film, Hildy actually refers to him as the Lord of the Universe. He's charming, a fast talker with wildly good looks, so it's really hard to not see the best in him, even though he's a big jerk. However, what's most entertaining is seeing him scheme up ways to get Hildy to abandon her escape from the newspaper business. Underneath the schemes, the two of them are so well matched for each other. Where Walter is devious to ridiculous heights, Hildy is the only one to join in his excitement and knows how to handle him when he gets out of hand. And once more, he likes it and he feels he needs it. You do get the sense that they really never fell out of love, but it's more of a misunderstanding, and you know that the two of them truly do belong together. And it speaks a lot about Hildy. She's a lot like Walter, selfish and completely excited by the chaos that he creates. She has actually bought into the idea that she needs to settle down in order to be happy. And, you know, the grass is always greener, so on and so forth. At first, you might think that Hildy's desire is quite sexist, even though she was originally a male character in the front page. And if you see the original movie, you'll see that they barely changed the character's motivations. It's pretty much the same, wherein there is this really incredible bromance between the two main characters that they transformed in this movie to be a romance. I thought that was a brilliant idea. Between Hildy and Walter, there's so much adorable bickering that's actually done right. They aren't playing it as if they hate each other. They're just feeding off of each other's energy. And it's such a wonderful, witty banter that is really shot at you so fast, in so fast paced in marathon takes, which must have really been incredibly difficult to shoot without mistakes. And even though the main comedy comes from Hildy and Walter, there are many other characters who deliver some unexpected comedy. Ralph Bellamy plays Hildy's fiancé, Bruce Baldwin, with this incredible nuance, reacting to much of the antics of the high-strung duo with very, very quick micro expressions that really sells the innocence of his character. As well, the situations that Walter manipulates for Bruce, actually, they could be cruel, but they're not. They're very funny, but without being too malicious. The film even makes a self-referential joke that his character looks a lot like the actor Ralph Bellamy. What also sells the comedy in the movie are the choreographed scenes where there are reactions perfectly positioned and edited in. This really helps the film to cross the barrier between being a product of its time. As well, the overlapping dialogue, clocking in at an average of 240 words per minute throughout the entire film, is quite chaotic and ramps up the realism, entertaining each scene brilliantly. The performances are clearly well rehearsed because, as I referred to the scenes before as choreography, it flows like a wonderful dance. Everyone brings their best for their part, and you feel as if you're experiencing their point of view as individuals. What also brings the comedy to life in this is the style of acting for the era of the 1940s. I mean, it's already laughable because it's so different from how we speak today. But in this film, this is iconic in a kind of social commentary and straight up mockery of its time and the stereotypes of men, women, politics, and the news. All of this is still appropriate to discuss in today's world, making this film utterly timeless. Now, I haven't discussed the main plot yet. It revolves around a guy by the name of Earl Williams who accidentally shot a police officer. He is going to be executed mainly because the mayor wants voters for his next election. It's kind of a touchy subject of race. It's a little heavy-handed, but it's one of the swirling plot pieces that drives a lot of the action in the film. And although it's a serious subject matter, the comedy doesn't belittle or suddenly become immature. It stays relevant to the dynamics between the characters. So this is one film I suggest that you give several repeated views, and I promise you, every single time you will find something exciting and new in the details every time. They just don't make comedies like this anymore. My rating is a 9.1. Well, that sums up my quick, spoiler-free review. This is Retro Nerd Girl signing off. Take care, movie lovers, and off to my next review!